RoboCop versus
Oh, damn!
I suggest you use the right to remain silent before I show your robot ass some Detroit vibe.
He's back.
Commander, stay on target.
We got Marc Yaffee on this.
I wonder where the Cyberdyne research went. That they couldn't fix your funky haunted Bronx accent. They sent you back to kill a child. He's defeating the stills. They should have made a time traveling morning after bill. And I didn't think I had any feelings left inside, but my heart was surely broken after Terminator.
I'm going for Terminator.
RoboCop all the way.
Come on, Terminator.
It's a tough one. I gotta go with RoboCop on this one.
Yeah.
Detail files of listen to it. He's dope.
Oh my God.
Cyberdyne Systems Model 101. And they'll be sweeping up your rubble bits like paper clips when I'm done. Dropping attackers and massive dispatch of bazookas and gas and grenades. That rapidly bashes your brains and dismantles that puny pea shooter that fits in your leg. We're not the same. You peel away. Our perfect skin, you find supercomputers. You look like crying wearing a cold pressed juice. Lift off your balls when your suit was created.
I still love you, Alex.
Bullshit. Your sex life is terminated. Based on my detail analysis of the
Detail analysis.
and your next shit verse, and then I'll be back.
You don't know honor. You only know a program rollout boner for John Connor. OCP gave me the skills to rap.
A program boner for John Connor. It's not my mother, Todd.
Yeah, face-hole. Rip out your vocal cords. Send out your space helmet back to Geordie LaForge.
Space helmet back to Geordie LaForge.
Murphy's Law.
Chill out, squad. Your emotions are wrecking your flow. I couldn't find a decent rhyme in your line. If I was in search mode, you're too slow. I have almost steam to machines. Judgment Day, baby.
Terminator's killing it.
Oh, dude.
Ooh.
Oh. You decide. Epic rap battle of history.
I'm just glad he's paying me because Mike is just an...
Rolling.
What? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, it's time for your weekly Fix-A-Funny. Can I get another one of these? I'm gonna need this. I'm about to do this shit. So I'm okay, I swallowed it. So grab a cocktail, take those pants off, and treat yourself to the sexy bald man that makes you tingle in your special place. Woo! I'm wrong! Got my mind on my money, my money on my mind, bitch! I'm house announcer Chet Jackson, and it's time for the Me, Myself, and I show with Mike Buncord! Are we done? Yes.
Me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I.
Come on, get out of here. Come on. Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Me, Myself, and I. The last time I was on the show, my kids said I sounded like a dead cat, so meow. Come on, we are here. Another Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. That means Thursday is the new Friday, so you can start drinking, have a good time right now. The weekend starts right now. No one's really clocked in when you clock in tomorrow, right? You're just count. Everyone's like, happy Friday, right? Happy Friday. Everyone enjoys Friday. So technically that's your Saturday, but you're getting paid for it. And today's your Friday, which is actually Thursday. And happy Thursday. Me, myself, and I is here. And we have a very exciting show, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, my correspondent Dustin Wood is back. What? He's back here waiting for you. And number two, we have a wonderful guest from Amazon Prime, Dry Bar Comedy, and Showtime. My friend, Mr. Marc Yaffee, is here. Comedian extraordinaire, very funny guy. You're going to love him. And you and I are here. And we have a comment already. Someone left a comment already. Maureen Botham says, Phoebe Sophia. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe it must be something with Mark. I don't know. If you can explain what that comment means, that'll be a lot. I thought it was gonna be like, "Hey, Mike, what's up?" But you know what? Maybe that's the word of the day. Phoebe Sophia. Sure, why not? Let's go. Let's do that. Let's go with Phoebe. Yeah, Phoebe Sophia. Come on. So, in other news today, I am checking the wonderful news today, and it says, COVID cases are. Oh, okay. Here, hold on. I was tagging my friend. Oh, yeah. Well, Phoebe Sophia. Anyways. In other news today, COVID cases are rising, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know why? Take a wild guess. Let's take a wild guess, okay? Let's sit here and really soak it in why COVID cases are rising. Oh, that's right. We don't have a vaccine. Oh, no, we do. But people refuse to take it. Take your vaccine, people. Okay, take your vaccine. Just take it. I know you don't want to live in this society, whatever. They can't force us. Well, you know what? I kind of like this society. All right. I kind of like podcasting. I kind of like going out and hanging out with people. Who cares if we're under the New World Order? No one cares. Okay. Stop acting like you care. If you did, you would have protested when Halliburton got rich in 2001. I'll wait for that answer. Exactly. So quit worrying about it. Get your shot, people. Okay? Just get your shot. There's this actor. Oh, I hate to talk about this, but you know what? I have to. There's this actor. His name's Noel G. You guys seen him. He was in Training Day. He was a bald guy. He's like, I got my gun. Let me see yours. You know which one I'm talking about. He did this video. Oh God, I can't believe I'm going to share this, but I have to. I have to do it before Dustin's thoughts. But he did this video trying to be like a celebrity, saying, I got some amazing things to say. Watch this. Listen to this. The reason why I'm showing you this, first of all, because he deleted my comment. I'm going to tell you what the comment I said, right? He deleted it. And I have it here on my phone. Okay. Here, this is what he has to say.
And I've thought of 1,000 different ways of how to start, what to say. And the only thing that I can do is continue to be truthful and not apologize for anything that I posted. But I want you guys to know where that's coming from. It's coming from a good heart and a good place. Nothing that I'm saying has wrong intentions or anything like that. So let me just give you a couple examples, and I'll share with you what this message is really about. This might be a message that a lot of you don't want to hear.
We don't.
But I have to be honest, because
we don't want to hear
yourself,
this.
Then who can
I'm being myself, and I say I don't want to hear this bullshit anymore.
Being in your purpose. When you're not in your purpose, you'll never have peace of mind.
You don't have a job. That's why you don't have a purpose.
Like number one is, I remember my daughter when she was younger. She used to get picked on in school. We all been there, right? We all got picked on at one time in our life. And I told my daughter, I said, you can't let people tell you who you are. You have to know who you are. And so I say that to say that I'm a man and I know what I say and what I don't say. A lot of the times when I give messages, a lot of people like to come up with their own thing of what I said and didn't say. And I'm here to clear all that up. And that's the reason why I'm doing this message. So number one, let me start off by saying this. First and foremost, this message is in love. I care about all of you guys. And I just want to share the truth with you guys, because the truth doesn't need to be supported by lies, because the truth
sounds like a monologue. I'm sorry. It sounds like a monologue.
It's strong. It's sturdy. It holds something up. But lies have to be supported by lies. And so all I can do is share the truth with you. So number one, let me tell you guys something that you guys are completely misunderstanding. I am all for a vaccine that cures people. I am not for a vaccine that is being forced upon us.
Okay, it goes on and on and on, and he talks about the New World Order, and he talks about all this other stuff, and it's just, I don't know. It's when you start talking about the New World Order, first of all, if you really want to give back to humanity, why don't you go down to LA and help all those homeless people get vaccine? Anyways, he deleted my comment. And this is the comment after he was talking about the New World Order, which I like you, by the way. Thank you for StreamYard and the New World Order for keeping me going on my podcast. He deleted this comment. This is the comment I said, okay? He talked about the New World Order, and I said, I hate to break the news to you, but we lost our rights a very long time ago. It's been a New World Order since the 90s. Once Scott Hall Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan joined forces, we've been under the NWO for life. Hashtag too sweet. And speaking of the New World Order, it's time for the very first time here on Me, Myself, and I, a uninterrupted Dustin's Thoughts.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. I gotta say, you guys, I don't think you understand just how excited Mike was about this interaction. He called me this morning and was like, guess who's feuding with the least interesting character from the Fast and Furious franchise? Mike B. He was so excited. I'm excited for him. I can't wait. I had no idea he deleted your comment, which is fucking hilarious.
I don't mean to interrupt, but he
so
deleted it. Can you believe that? He deleted it.
That's so stupid. Okay, so you know what? A lot of this ties into what I want to talk about today. Is it seems like COVID we've been away from people for so long that we've just forgotten how to interact with human beings in a mature way. I've noticed it mostly in customer service. There's a new pho place here in town that like Asian ramen. I've never seen pho except for like spelled out PHO. I had no idea what it was. And they had one of those banners that they slide the letters in. And so the letters had separated. And so I went in innocent, 100% innocent. And I was like, can I get some pee-ho? And the lady behind the counter was like, I don't give a shit, slut. And I was like, whoa, where is this coming from? That's super rude. It happened at the theater. I went to the movie theater and there's this guy named Scary Gary that works there. We call him Scary Gary because he's always like the last one seen with neighborhood pets before they go missing. And he does this thing now where he wants to give me his little 30-second review of the movie I'm just about to go see. Like, perfect example. I went to go see Get Out a couple years ago with the Jordan Peele movie. And I bought my ticket and he was like, enjoy white people are mean to black people, the movie. What does that have to do with? He did it to Aquaman. I'm a big comic book fan. I was excited about Aquaman. I bought my ticket and he was like, enjoy Thor underwater. It bothered me. Like, where has customer service gone? I don't like being a petty person, but last night I saw Scary Gary at our local cafe here, and he was like all cuddled up with a girl, speaking to her, feeding her cheesecake. It all looked very adorable, almost like a first date. And I hate being petty, but as I walked by, I stopped and I decided to ruin her experience with him the way he's ruined movies for me. And I just said, enjoy still bathes with his mother, and just walked away. So basically, Dustin's thoughts today is if you're in customer service, please stop being an asshole. Thank you.
Dustin's Thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I had to interrupt for a second. I can't resist, but it was part of the bit. Anyways, Dustin's Thoughts. Glad to have you back, brother. Thank you for being here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's keep this show going. So before we bring up Mr. Marc Yaffee, I'm telling you, I've known this guy for many, many years. We were on the road together, and I'm so very happy that he got a dry bar special. Check out this clip. You're gonna love it, and we'll bring up Mark. Here we go.
People always ask, they find out your name. Oh, how do you like to be addressed? Do you prefer Native American or First Nations, American Indian? I'm like, I kind of like original landowner. Do we have any other original landowners here tonight? Anyone else ready to party like it's 1491? No? Okay, the rest of you are getting very sleepy, very sleepy. After the show, you will give back all of the land. And you will stop casting Lou Diamond Phillips as an Indian in your cowboy movies. I am not from the reservation. I come from a small fishing village on the Pacific coast called Los Angeles. Born in LA, at birth, I weighed 11 pounds, 5 ounces. Worst part was 11-pound head, 5-ounce body. I was a globe on a Q-tip. All my baby pictures, I'm like. But my mom actually had an easy delivery because I'm adopted. My friend's like, were you delivered by C-section? No, court order. Navajo adopted by a Mexican mother and a Jewish father. Yeah. I'm a bargain hunter-gatherer. Illegal too. I'm illegal too, bro, because you no longer adopt an Indian child from their tribe. That is called the Indian Child Welfare Act, and they passed that law to protect our people from Angelina Jolie.
I told you. Told you. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody's ready. Is Phoebe Sophia ready? Phoebe Sophia is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen him on Amazon Prime, Dry Bar Comedy, and Showtime. Please put your hands together for my dear friend, Mr. Marc Yaffee.
It's great to be here, Mike. Let's do it. Let's do it now.
I'll do Jean-Claude Van Damme. Mr. Silk Underwear. Mr. Silk Underwear. Here, we'll have Dustin be Sylvester Stallone. And go ahead. You're Arnold. You're Dustin Sylvester Stallone. I'll be Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No, it's weird. The best I can do.
That's awesome. How you doing, Mark? Thanks for being on the show, brother.
It's crazy.
It's here. It's here.
I love your energy, man. It's just like, this is one of the reasons I love hanging out with Mike, whether it's on the road or on the podcast. You're just if the word is effusive. For those, I don't know very many big words, but effusive. You're just like, you got this energy, and you're just ready to pop all the time. It's like, you're like human caffeine. I love it. Yeah, it's just like,
dude, you should have seen me a couple of episodes during the pandemic at the peak where I was just drinking coffee the whole time. Oh, Dustin would sends a comment. He says, hashtag Lou Diamond Phillips is not Native American. Dude. Go ahead.
Why does he send us a comment? Isn't he on the show? Is that you guys just do it officially? Huh?
He does. He goes both, not both ways, but it does comments
like
and he talks to. He's the sidekick. He brings it in. He's a correspondent sidekick. He reports and then doesn't report. Watch. We'll bring him back in one more time. There he is, and then we bring him back out, and that's what we do. And look, he adds another text. Ooh. Mike versus the NWO. Whoa! I am not against the NWO, Dustin. I am one of the lieutenants. Okay, I'm for the NWO.
And what's your thoughts on NWA?
NWA, well, dude, they come straight out of Compton. I know that. That's for sure.
So you brought so much great stuff right out of the box. You brought up, first of all, Training Day, my all-time favorite movie. Now, and I should know, I've seen the movie 7 times.
I got my shit pushed in. Did you?
You ever had your shit pushed in top?
Big time, bro. Too bad.
That was one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history with that Ethan Hawke and the freaking
I know. I have a little girl. That's my Ethan Hawke impression right there. I have a little girl. I'll go back to the valley.
Oh, so which was he in that? He was in that scene. He was
he was the bald one with the goatee, and he was also in Bruce Almighty. He was another. He was another gangster.
Damn Danny Trejo wannabe.
What's that?
Damn Danny Trejo wannabe.
Actually, Danny Trejo served some real time. That guy didn't serve time. I know for a fact.
Community service, but yeah, you know what? Everyone wants an opinion.
Right. And everyone had
2.5 minutes just to push his shit out. You know, I'm like, dude. All right. How much do we have to preface? Because anytime people just start prefacing shit, you know, it's just leading up to something you're not going to like.
Right.
I love everybody. I don't want to offend anyone. Just let you know, this comes from my heart. It's spoken in pure love, but I'm going to kill you. Oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah. That's what Jeffrey Dahmer would say. You know, you're very tasty to me, and I don't mean to be offensive, but, you know, I'm going to eat your brains out. Quick.
If I may, just before I forget, because, you know, I'm old and I forget shit. You about the whole thing about getting the vaccine. You know that some of the biggest anti-vaccinators are some of the biggest doomsday preppers. Look, they're worried about the apocalypse, and they're stocking up food and bullets and guns and fucking 70,000 gallons of potable water and toilet paper. Fuck, the apocalypse is here. It's called COVID-19. Get a shot. You're gonna take your chance. What are you waiting for? You know,
dude, take it. People go to Vegas. They spend. Hold on. Let's add Dustin to this discussion. People go to Vegas and spend their kids' college fund on craps. but they won't take a gamble with a shot.
Yeah, there's people that believe there's more people that believe in Bigfoot than the vaccine works.
Yeah,
that's insane to me. But that's why I'm convinced that the virus just attacks people's like brain cells, because you never see a real smart person be like, the vaccine doesn't work. It's always the people that got a GED instead of graduating on stage.
You have to say with an egg, the vaccine don't work, man. That's why I'm not doing it.
I've done my research.
Anytime they use the word "ain't" in their crusade against the vaccine, like, okay, you're just dumb.
Another celebrity trying to have people remember him. So
here's the buzzwords. It's I do not want to loose my freedoms. LOOSE. They're trying to control us. THERE. And I probably PROY will never get to that point.
That's so true, man.
It's 100% true.
Dude, I can't. Dude, hold on. Dustin, I'm going to talk to Mark. Dude, I hope you do that you got to start working on your next special, man. I hope that's in it, man, because I'm sure you had a lot to say for sure.
Dude, you know what? And tonight I just thought I've got to say something about the preppers and the fact that you're doing all this shit in preparation. Something hasn't happened yet. It's like I understand. I have a few friends that are like super, super health conscious hippie types that they have some, they've never really taken vaccines and they're really purists. And I kind of see that. I kind of understand their point. I know I have any government friends, but you're the same corporate people. They have no problem giving their money. They only complain about government, never corporations.
Right.
And so now if there was like 50-50 amongst the scientific community, or even 80-20, I would say, hey, okay, let's take a pause. But no, there's no AMA coming out. There's no, they're not all in conspiracy. The nurses aren't all, I heard this lady in today, Alabama, of course, Alabama. The doctor, it's a 30-year-old unvaccinated on a respirator, about to go on a respirator. Can I get the vaccine now? No, you dumb fuck. You missed it by 2 months. It's terrible.
You missed it, but how many months? 2 months? That's when the vaccine came back?
People forget it's mutating too. The longer the virus stays out, the more it can keep mutating, where the vaccine will be rendered ineffective. And they can see, look, I told you that vaccine was never going to work.
And you know what's the worst part about this, man? It's like people all over the world and other parts of the world, they are begging for this vaccine and people have to pay extra for this. And we're in America and we're refusing to take something free. Just take a gamble.
When I was a kid, remember, eat everything on your plate. There's kids in India that are starving.
Right.
There are people in India dying. They'd love that vaccine.
Yes, seriously, man. All right, let's bring it back up. So let's talk about your Dry Bar special, man. How long did it take? First of all, congratulations on that. I'm so glad that you did it, man. It came out amazing. How long did it take you to develop that act for Dry Bar?
That was probably a good 10 years in the making, to be honest. That was just kind of the greatest hits amalgamation, because I had done a CD before that, and when like self-produced DVD.
Right.
But I kind of took some of that stuff. I threw in some, I had to sprinkle a little LDS, a little something for the Mormon folks there, because it's Dry Bar's Def Comedy Jam for Mormons. We filmed in Provo.
Def Comedy Jam for Mormons.
Audience, yeah. So I had a couple jokes there, but it was just over years of like an accumulation of stuff. And I always thought, like, man, how did Bill Burr and these guys, they're putting out a new special every year. And then COVID hit. I'm like, all I had time to do was write.
Right.
So now I've at least been able to accelerate the writing process. Now I feel like, well, it won't take 10 more years. I'm ready to do another Dry Bar now, but the good news is you only have to do like 25 minutes.
Yeah, seriously. What did it feel like before going up? Like that whole lead up before, this is your big moment.
Well, I mean, you talking about that night, or you talking about the weeks leading up to that thing?
Everything. As soon as you got the phone call saying that you're on Dry Bar.
I knew it was coming. So, and I'd been out, like, I think I just started working a couple of cruise ships. So they're super clean. So I was just kind of ordering the special, and it was just about the little nuances, where to put this inflection, that inflection. And they let you tape 2 shows. So if you didn't feel
nice.
One bit, they merged them right together, because they shot one at 6 and one at 8. So I think most of it came out of the first taping. I like that a little better. They flipped crowds, but the crowds were super, super generous. And that was really good, because we had a Kevin Jordan, who's a longtime touring comedian, former cop. He came out and did some time up front before they brought up Derek
nice.
and myself. So they film you 2 at a time. Back then, now it's I think 3 at a time. So it was just good energy. The people, they couldn't have treated you nicer. Have whatever you want. Go to the bar, have some soda, some candy. It's dry bar. It's Utah.
Right. Get drunk, everybody, on sugar and Satan.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, dude, I've known you for so long. Dude, how long have we known each other, Mark? I mean, it's been like
at least
12
years.
12 years, yeah.
Well,
you were one of the first headliners I went on the road with.
You still talk to me after that.
We went through the blistering cold going through Oregon, traveling up there. Remember, we had to go to Othello, Washington, and we had would you like to describe? Hold on, Dustin needs to hear this road story. Dustin, check this out. It was me. I'm like a first time feature act on the road, okay? And Mark is, a well established headliner, and everyone knows Mark. You got to, be on your best behavior. And this is my first time actually really knowing Marc Yaffee. And we went on the road together, and we went through Oregon, and then we went through, we had to take a ferry to Othello, Washington. So why don't you just describe
somewhere else before we took the ferry, right? Because we had like 2 or 3 shows.
Where did we go? I forgot.
I don't know. I think there was something before Othello. Othello was like the
I think it was Medford. Was it Medford?
Did we do Medford?
I think so.
Maybe we went to Othello first and worked our way back.
That's what it was. So let's go ahead and describe what the Othello, Washington, the actual town, looks like.
It looks like a set of a zombie movie from 1970. Pretty accurate description.
And then we go into this nice, nice theater, like movie theater. That's where the show was at. And as soon as we got there, Dustin, people were coming. They're so excited to see us. They're like, "Hey guys, the comics, huh? Say something funny. Say something funny. Say something funny." And then, do you want to talk about the booker?
Oh, Bob.
Yeah, you don't have to say his name, but sure.
So Bob Third Reichert.
Well, Dustin, I asked the booker because I wanted to get some information before the show. I said, "Hey, what's this town like?" He's like, "Well, it used to be a train town, but everything went downhill ever since the change happened."
What?
Hold on, me and Mark were looking at each other, and we're like, "The change? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well," he looked back and forth. He went like this. It was going to be racist when he went like this. When he went like this, he said, "Well, ever since those Mexicans moved into town," talking to a Puerto Rican and a native.
Yeah,
he's not knowing his audience at all, dude. Not at all. And then the first thing I'm featuring, so Bob brings me up. The first thing I said, I was like, "Give it up for Bob, ladies and gentlemen. He's the nicest racist you'll ever meet."
That's why I love this guy. He goes right for it. He doesn't mess around.
Oh, if anybody says something stupid to Mike before a show, you just leave, because Mike's gonna bring it up and make you the joke of the night. Like, no, are you sure you guys weren't in Wairika?
No, dude. And it's funny, all of it. He's like the deacon of his church as well. And there was people from like the kids' PTA there, and it was
oh my
they were
god.
Dressed like Mennonites, and they were kind of like the men looked like traveling salesmen from 1968.
Well, hold on, it gets better. Why don't you, Mark? You gotta tell him that. You gotta tell Dustin and the rest of the Emmett Micers what the after party was like.
Hey, you haven't been to an after party till you've been to an Othello after party. He had the ranch style home. It was like Leave It to Beaver meets what's the I don't know. What's the 70s? I can't think of a 70s reference.
Dustin, shag rug wallpaper.
Oh my!
Orange shag rug.
Shag rug wallpaper. Phoebe Sophia, if you're not tagged yet, I'm telling you now.
I'm thinking maybe
shag rug wallpaper.
So it just looked like Bob Ross's soul, basically.
What's that?
It just looked like Bob Ross's soul.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Maybe Bob and Mrs. Bob were freaks and they were soundproofing their house.
And they gave us, are you ready for this? It's an old racist drink. They gave us 7 of 7 with their shag frog wallpaper.
Wow.
And then so it was like it was like 2P farmers, right? Right, Mark? We had the racist, and we had this really old couple that was really racist. And this one guy was like, you know what, man? I don't understand it, but you know, I don't know why we have to learn Spanish here in America, but I'm not gonna learn it. I won't.
Oh my god. How was it? Were you guys like, as comedians, I know that we kind of thrive in situations like that where it's like materials happening right in front of me. Were you guys uncomfortable, like you wanted to leave, or did you want to stick around to see what other crazy shit they would say?
No, it got awkward after a while. It got really awkward, like you know, like eyes wide shut, weird.
I was waiting to be taken down to a basement.
I know you got two brown guys in Othello, Washington, and racism is right in front of us. And they're like, I won't learn that Spanish. Will you, brown boys? I don't think so.
You know, they had a shag sex swing in that basement.
Oh yeah,
No
with
way.
7 to 7 and racism. Keep things going.
That's terrifying.
So that's how Mark and I started our wonderful friendship.
Remember that hotel we stayed in? That was a scary situation too. Wasn't that?
What's that? Oh, hold on. Someone comment. Marine Botham says, "Gag ball scary." Bring out the gimp. The gimp's asleep. Why don't you wake him up now? Won't you?
Gag.
So Mark, why don't you tell us how you got started? Let's move on past the races and let's talk about how you got started.
I'm having Othello flashbacks now. I'm trying to.
I know, right?
I'm seeing orange everywhere.
By the way, me, myself, and I will be going to Othello, Washington on its first tour. Hashtag gag ball scary.
Hashtag se habla español. How did I get started in comedy? I was teaching traffic school in Northern California after a stint at the Department of Motor Vehicles. And people said, hey, you're pretty funny. You should do stand-up comedy. So I said, hey, I should hire comedians to teach traffic school. Went to Laughs Unlimited. Ended up taking a class with Del Van Dyke and Karen Anderson, and had a valid license. So Del Van Dyke ended up taking me on the road because he knew I had a driving school and I wasn't going to get drunk and crash the car. He was going to get paid. That's the short answer.
Isn't that weird how like comics are considered edgy, and our edginess is, can you drink or do you drive?
Yeah, you get valid insurance.
Yeah, that's how edgy you are. Not like, will you kick this person's ass, but like, do you got insurance? Do you have any
I always
warrants?
thought, because you know, like in the 80s, the comedy boom, it was all about like cocaine and drugs and like a mirrored piano in the comedy store that you could do coke off of. When I first got in the comedy, I thought it was going to be like that all the time. And then the first headline I ran into was like, you got any EPK? And I thought he was talking about some like fancy drug.
You're looking.
Yeah.
Like, you go into a drug dealer, you got any EPK? They're like, yeah. That's a new one.
Yeah.
You hook me up with an EPK, bro?
Yeah.
All the comics are like, dude, hook us up with the EPK, Dustin. Dustin has all the EPKs. So Mark, what was your first big gig that made you realize, like, yeah, I'm funny, I'm sticking with this, and this is where I'm gonna be?
Well, I don't know. I think it was just sheer persistence because I wasn't very funny at first. You know what I mean? It's I think because I was so steeled from teaching traffic school and having to talk for 6.5 hours to people that just hated them being there, were near suicidal. You know, so it was like going in a comedy club and people ignoring me. It was easy.
Right. Well, so true.
I had 2 ladies that laughed in my first set, and I did a joke about being adopted or something, and I said, and just like the jolt you get, and I've never used heroin, but I'm imagining it's probably a close feeling. Whoa, that worked. I got to do this again. Just immediately, it's like I got to have more of this, and it was a few months till I got another laugh. So,
wow.
Oh wow, really? I don't believe that.
It was rough. You know,
Mark is modest. That guy throws.
Yeah.
I remember the gig before, and this is going to tie in. Are you ready? Well, before we went to Othello, Washington, we were in Squim, Washington.
For Pat Wilson.
Yes, we were in Squim, Washington, and check this out, Dustin. Here's a nice casino, really nice, not smoky at all, and we see this huge stage, right? Probably like 20 by 20, and then the audience was probably like 100 feet away from us.
20 by 20 people.
in the bar. So there's like this huge separation moat between us.
Oh, it's the dance floor, and then the tables. There's no one on the dance floor. They put like 2 tables. Then there's the tables. No one's at the tables. They're all at the bar behind the moat, behind the table.
That's like 100 feet away, dude. That's 100 feet away. And what's great about Mark is, dude, Mark just will throw jokes at you non-stop until you keep laughing. Even if you're not laughing, I've seen Mark just go like just.
Yeah, just
like they're gonna laugh at something.
Approach.
Just no, not buckshot. Just constantly throwing.
Oh,
like people, and I remember it because this was my first big trip. I didn't know how to react to this awkward situation, and Mark went up there like a pro as he is, and just 100 feet away from each other. And that's now it's nothing because social distancing. But like with Mark, it's just like just hundreds of jokes all day long.
Yeah, I perfected comedy social distancing. I was doing COVID comedy before COVID.
You're right.
So how often do you write, Mark?
How do I write? Well, it's a very scientific process where when something pops into my head, I'll put it in my phone. I'll have spurts where I'll write every day in my journal. I'm super like ADD and inconsistent. I'll go on these streaks and I'll write every day. Most of my writing, I think, comes at the end of a week. Like if I do a weekend, and after I'm done, I like start ruminating on it. It's like, oh, I can add this and this and that. And I don't write like some people write on stage as they're doing their jokes. I gotta let it settle,
right,
and start to kind of percolate. And then basically conversations. I love it. Love that we have these type of things. They start thinking about, wow, I got to really talk about this and what's frustrating me and why am I not bringing this up. So during COVID, the writing was I did a jokes from the jacuzzi series where every Sunday I would jump in the jacuzzi and tell topical jokes. So
yeah, that was good.
I remember that. I watched a couple of those.
Yeah, well, it was you and 2 other people. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
But that's the thing about. Do you have
I just saw a Native American guy in a jacuzzi, and I was like, okay, it's Pornhub. And then you start telling jokes,
dude.
And I was like, okay, now I'm really attracted. So it was good. I was into it.
I'm glad I met all your comedy fantasies.
Yeah.
My social media guy, Alex, he got put in Facebook jail for posting a clip of my show. They said it was sexually inappropriate content.
Which show?
It's so crazy.
And I sat there and did it for 50-something, 40-something weeks. I never had any problem with it.
Have you had to like deal with any kind of cancel culture stuff or like people being offended by? Do you get people that are offended? You make jokes about being Native American, even when they're not.
I've had some problems because I'm not full blood, right? I'm a quarter now. I just did my DNA. I'm like 18%, so it fluctuates depending on how many people are participating in the test.
In the DNA, there's your Pornhub. There's your Pornhub.
DNA orgy.
DNA orgy. Some Native American right there. So Mark, go ahead.
I was going to say that that's a big deal. It's like blood quantum in Indian country. There's a lot of oh yeah, I'm Native now because everyone's like popping up with 23andMe and Ancestry, right. and there's a lot of backlash from people that have lived on the reservation for generations and enrolled tribal citizens. So you get some people like, oh, what's the deal? Like I got asked for a tribal card. I'm not enrolled, so it was an acting gig. My agent's like, oh, you have a tribal card? No, I'm not enrolled. So I wouldn't say it's cancel culture, but it's protect the culture, which I'm fine.
Did you lose the acting gig because you didn't have the card?
I hadn't even auditioned, so I mean, chances were they would have seen my acting. I would have lost the gigs to that. The card. I would have done it legitimately, Dustin.
Yeah, if you lose a job, you want it because you're not good enough, not because of the color of your skin.
Right. As long as that's good. Yeah, it doesn't matter what color you are. As long as if you suck, that's what matters or doesn't.
It's not about quantity. It's about lack of acting quality.
What's that, Mark?
It's not blood quantity. It's a lack of acting quality.
There you go. Did you have to deal with being on the road when you first started out? You know, you went to featuring, and then before you became headlining, you went like all over the country. Did you have to deal with any type of racism or anyone not wanting?
It wasn't as overt as it is now. I think people now they speak up more. They pretend they're not being racist, but there would be as though I went up to UP, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and I used to do this joke about the Supreme Court ruled that the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, can adopt a highway for litter removal. Yeah, that's great. The trash picked up by white trash. They talk about. Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, that pissed off a lot of people.
Oh yeah, and then my tag was it's like that's one road you don't want to get stopped from drinking and driving, right? I don't know what happened back there, officer. I was just driving along. I hit a big white cone.
Oh, I'm assuming that's a joke you didn't do in Othello.
I might have.
I think you have. Yes, something.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
I wasn't good at. I was never one to really adjust my set. Now I kind of frequent tune in a little more because everyone's so techy, on all sides.
Right.
Now.
Yeah.
But no, I think Othello got a dose of that. So some of this I didn't think about it. Some of the stuff is like I'm just going at it, and sometimes you're like, people, what's he doing? And you get some snide remarks after. I worked in Grants Pass a couple of years ago, and afterward, the lady's like, we're all native. Okay.
Is that the hashtag All Lives Matter type person?
Yeah.
It was a Karen.
That place it's the whitest town I've ever seen where everybody is not white. It's insane. It's so insane. Or people will say because of 23andMe, they'll be like, 2% Chippewa, and they'll now identify as mixed race.
Oh, man.
Even though blonde hair, blue eyes, look like a Barbie doll. It's insane.
One time I went to Oklahoma. I was performing at this Buffalo Run Casino in Miami, Oklahoma. And after the show, the booker or someone comes out, I'd like you to meet Chief Roman. I thought he was the chief of police. He's a blonde hair, blonde guy. He was
Who's like, what's up, bro?
Dude, the show's bad, bro.
Your show was awesome.
It was Oklahoma. We all enjoyed that there. There was funny shit there, I'll tell you what.
So when did you go from featured to headlining? And because Mark, you're everywhere. You were all over the damn place, man. Even during the pandemic, even before the pandemic. I remember being on the road with you. You just never stopped booking yourself. And that's such a great habit to do.
Must be I've slowed down a little bit. But you know what? I was always had just a work ethic. It's like, hey, you gotta fill the calendar.
Yeah.
I used to own a driving school, so it was that same thing as basically the old term was piecemeal work. You're not guaranteeing, so you fill in here in this date here. So I think I was used to kind of that whole thing. Is like I'd always be looking at a calendar, and because I was self-employed before I did comedy, I always knew like, hey, if you're looking out and stuff's not happening, I start getting some anxiety. So
would you book yourself? Like, how far in advance would you book yourself and have that stress?
48 hours. No.
But that's the great thing about Mark. He could book himself in 48 hours somewhere, a headlining gig somewhere. Mark will do it.
That would be a good reality show, the 48-hour comedy challenge.
Oh my God. You would win. Mark would win, hands down.
Oh,
Mark, I would always Mark is my own personal tracker. I would always ask, what's a good spot? He knows anywhere.
Yeah, like, hey,
everywhere.
I'm going to be in Liberty Lake, Washington. What's nearby there? Well, you go to Newport. There's a Saturday in Springdale.
He's a machine.
That's something that you only see with like the real tried and true like road dogs.
Yeah.
Like Alex Elkin, you can ask him where's good food in any small town in the world, and he's got like 9 places you can go, and they all have his headshot hanging up.
He's like, are you looking for after show food or early morning breakfast?
That's awesome.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Mark, when did you decide to go from feature to headliner?
Well, I don't think you decide necessarily. I think you make a commitment to do it. But it's pretty much, the bookers decide, okay, we're going to, you start doing the fill-in stuff. And then they say, hey, there's a fallout, or they really liked you. If you want to headline, when you got to realize you get, just because you're going to do 45 minutes or an hour doesn't mean you're a headliner. You may have,
right.
You might be a good feature or an opener that's written a lot of material. but it's being able to craft a joke and deal with a bar situation or a comedy club where they're dropping the checks and there's other nonsense going on. Some quitting in the middle of the show, walking out of their boss. So I think the point is when you felt like if I go up there, I cover the time. I'm not worried about anything that happens. I think it's like you get it's a confidence, which is a combination of experience, material, and respect from the bookers. But I still struggle. I mean, some places I'm headlining. I'm headlining cruise ships, and other places like, oh yeah, well, sorry, we can't use you. It's like, yeah, if you want to come and feature. I was like,
How do you combat that as somebody that you can hang? This is a question I've asked Mike a million times. Is like, you both can hang as a headliner. You are tried and true, tested, and have knocked it out of the park. Headliners. What do you do when you go to a club and they're like, well, we'll let you feature? Do you not take that out of pride, or do you?
Sometimes I won't. Like it depends how they come at you and say, hey, we'd like to headline you. We don't have anything until next year, but if we can offer you this, it's a lot of times that's how they present it. Other times it's like, hey, I've got to be up here anyway. I'm feeling, I'm working on new material. So it's always prefaced by what my bank account's empty.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. He'll take any. That's true.
It's a combination of desperation and just don't give a shit. Like, you know what? I'm visiting some friends. I love this place. I'm hanging out at this lake. Blah blah blah. Like I featured for this a guy, Jeff Allen, in Spokane and Tacoma. And Jeff, he's one of the big dry bar top 2 or 3 guys.
Oh,
he's
nice.
got 1 million views and very popular. He does all door deals. So he's making him, like 300 people on a Thursday night. So I hit them up and said, hey, I'm trying to get up to Spokane. Let me know what you got. And they said, well, we can offer the feature date with him and X amount of money. Hey, you know what? I'll do it. Then I ended up getting a theater gig. It was kind of Othello-esque too, Mike. It was also called the Show House.
Come on into the show house. Make sure you don't keep those goddamn brown people in there too.
Yeah. And they also had to change.
Someone's gonna chime in at this time, at this very moment. They're like, Mike's racist. Did you hear what he just said?
If they're gonna call you racist, it's because you called him your tracker more than anything.
He's my personal tracker.
People were reporting. Our Mark Price and I did a show on 3rd of July, Native and the Nerd comedy tour, and people were reporting that.
Oh my God!
As a Native, they thought it was offensive.
How? If you're also somebody that identifies as a Native, how? It's so weird.
And then they put it back up. It's just whack-a-mole. It's just people are just crazy right now.
You know what I find offensive?
Uh-huh.
This is a completely different subject. I find offensive Jeff Bezos going to space and then saying, I want to thank all the employees and everyone for paying my shit. That's offensive. We should cancel him.
Thanks to you peeing in the bottle.
Yes.
Losing your ligaments in your ankles from walking on hard pavement for 10 years straight, I get to fly a penis into space.
And he has a cowboy hat when he comes back down. So he's comparing himself to Clint Eastwood Space Cowboys. Is that what he's doing?
Hey, now I'll say one thing I did like. He gave $100 million each to Van Jones and who's the other guy? Gave up $200 million in charitable donation. Not good for him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but he could have done all that without flying up into space.
Yeah, I know, right? He can still donate without flying up into orbit.
It's almost like it's like when like a girlfriend is like I'll give you a blowjob tonight, but we gotta watch The Notebook first. It's like that type of thing of like, I'll donate money, but first you got to shoot me up into space.
That's a great analogy.
You don't watch The Notebook before blowjobs?
I don't get blowjobs. I'm pulling that completely out of thin air. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's a good movie. What do you want? No, I'm just kidding.
I've seen The Notebook more than I've gotten blowjobs, which is the saddest state of my sex life.
Maybe if you keep watching it long enough, you'll attract a woman.
But Mark, you got let's go a different subject. But Mark, you got other projects coming up too, right?
Not really. I'm just desperate for attention, so I got on this show. No, we always got to keep working on something. So I do have I have my podcast. If you think about it, I had a whole year. Do have a podcast. How does that happen? About crazy record holders.
Mm-hmm.
You guys probably know Sammy Obeid, the comedian.
Yes.
The comedian. Sammy did 1,003 nights of comedy in a row, so I interviewed him.
I saw a documentary about that.
Yeah. Then I did. I interviewed Adam Thompson, who's trying to become the world's worst Uber driver, who's essentially tanking ratings, like bringing his kid with him in the car. And
oh, that's great!
Wow, that's brilliant.
During the Super Bowl, he dumped a Philadelphia Eagles fan like a mile from his destination. And then, yeah. So I'm working on that. I'm also pitching some projects to my manager, trying to. I have this a couple of reality shows. One is Brokecation, because Mike knows I'm super cheap, so I'm doing one called Brokecation. We're highlighting people that do the stingiest travel plans possible. Like
that's brilliant.
That's great. Guy that stays in youth hostels, the guy that sleeps in his Prius and goes to all the minor league baseball games and sneaks in the third inning so he doesn't have to pay for his ticket.
That's like people that second act plays. They'll sneak in with all the smokers.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Oh, I also, and back to my similar vein, and how does that happen? I interviewed this guy, Andy Kern, the Comedy Machine. You may know Andy. He's actually a comedian and a booker.
Okay.
He snuck into the ESPYs. He waited in the bathroom for like 3 hours in the stall. He got in. He met what's her name, Lolo Jones. He was having a conversation. Lolo Jones got blown off by Lolo.
Oh my god, dude!
That's
wow.
So these are all people you talk to.
Yeah.
On your podcast, or is this something separate that you're working on?
No, that's part of the podcast.
That's part of his podcast.
Oh,
cool. So I'm working on some reality show projects. My friend Stephen Briggs and I, we have a comedy script about a reality show contestant, comedian reality show who ends up getting drunk and accidentally peeing on a producer's leg and backstage. Just a stupid thing. And he ends up opening a booking agency to get himself back into the entertainment industry. And so he's doing the Elks Lodges and the Othellos. He's got a stable of crazy comics and
oh my god,
variety people. Yeah. And then trying to write it, and I got a new hour, which I think I'm going to call Innocent Bystander.
What are you going to call it? I'm sorry, say it again.
Innocent Bystander.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's a good title.
I might. It's still subject to change. Might be near miss. That's
how long you been working on this new hour?
When did COVID start? March 13th.
Yeah.
Damn, a solid year.
March 12th you started.
Yeah.
Over a year.
No, you're a writing machine, man. That's such a great discipline to have.
No, I'm not that disciplined. Trust me. No.
Can I ask this question about the hour coming up? Because I'm so curious about this. How do you prepare? You said that you've done self-produced CDs and stuff like that. What's the difference that you notice between doing something self-produced and then having a special that is going to be put together by a production team and everything like that?
The biggest difference is you probably have some input on your material versus your self-producing. Some guys is going to come. You're going to hire a crew who's pretty much going to just be yes men.
Yeah,
you're not going to really be too critical on it. But I think self-produced is fine. There's some guys that have done quite well. They've got on Amazon Prime and their stuff's doing good. Look at all the people on social media. I'm killing it on TikTok. I made $83 since I got on TikTok.
Dude, that's 83 more than I made.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
At all.
Dude, that's good money off of TikTok.
Yeah, I'm thinking about messing with that a little more. People are like, oh, TikTok, come on, dude, you got to be 18. But people like it for comedy, they like.
Dude, the way that you write and how you're so good at one-liners, like you would crush that app if you did a joke a day there. Like,
you should do the jacuzzi on TikTok, dude. That's what you should do.
I've done that too. They don't like the jacuzzi so much. Maybe I scare them, but
just blur out everything from the neck down and let their imagination take.
There you go.
Neck up either. Look at me. I look like Lou Diamond Phillips and Gene Simmons crashed into a glass window.
Now, Lou Diamond Phillips, he's the Native American actor.
What would you say to? How does that make you feel? Lou Diamond Phillips plays a native.
Hey, you know what? I would say if he did the job and no one else and natives were not they got asked to audition and they didn't deliver, and I'm probably away with it, but I prefer to be a native actor in a native role. That's the problem with acting now, because there was always, Meryl Streep wanted to play a Sophie's Choice, wanted to play a Hungarian or whatever,
Yeah.
and Robert Downey Jr. He couldn't play the black character from Tropic Thunder.
No.
Enough
There's a movie right now that's been filmed and edited that will not release. It's with Jamie Foxx and Robert Downey Jr. And Robert Downey Jr. plays a Mexican guy, and Jamie Foxx plays a white guy. And he said, Jamie Foxx is like, I'll never be able to release it because the year that they did it is when everybody went after like Always Sunny for doing blackface. And they he now has this movie that they spent millions of dollars on that can't be released. Because
have a cancel culture film festival or a cancel culture channel.
Yeah, right?
Right? A cancel culture channel. Yeah.
I would watch it.
Yeah, I'm worried you're going to show up one day at karaoke. You can't sing that song.
Yeah, right?
Well, dude, how about this? Hold on. I just thought of this while you guys were talking. Check this out. Burt Lancaster as a native.
What?
Oh,
John Wayne is Genghis Khan. Like,
dude, look at this, man. If that's not a slap in the face to natives everywhere, look at that, man.
Is at that point, Wes Studi was around.
Like, right.
Great
all
Native
these
American
great
actors that could have crushed that role.
And George.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah,
it's like
there's a documentary called Real
The Apache. That's what it's called. Unconquerable. The Apache.
That's insane. Well, you think of that movie with
I don't know how I pulled that out of my ass, but I did. That was amazing.
Soul Man from the 80s.
Oh yeah,
Steve Thomas Howell.
Yes,
Steve Thomas Howell.
I ruined his career.
Movie. And even I'm not in it. I own a DVD of it and I hide it. Like, I'm afraid I'm gonna get canceled for owning it, and he acted in it. Like,
well, hey, the woke Stapo could show up at your house, and
the woke Stapo.
It's just Tyler Perry.
We are here to take your cancel culture. We are the woke Stapo.
The DVD of Soul Man, and nobody will be hurt.
You are very offensive, and I'm triggered.
We're all gonna get canceled by the end of this podcast.
That'll be awesome because then more people will watch it.
They'll be like, in the canceled film festival. So
there you go.
Is exciting.
Hold on. Maureen Botham just said PC gets crazy. It's confusing. I said redneck last year. My son said, "Mom, it's redneck American." That's the correct way.
That kid is brilliant.
Nice. Good job.
We are redneck Americans, and we stand up for our whites. That's what we do.
You watch the red bulging out red. I'm turning red.
It's actually pink. I get offended because I don't want people to compare me to Mars. I'm not a redneck. God. Oh, Mark.
I'm all for people being policed and not culturally appropriating. Like, look at alcohol culturally appropriation. You have drinks like Irish Car Bomb, Kamikaze, Jaeger Bomb.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And if you're going to serve, no, seriously, if you're going to have drinks like Irish Car Bomb, Kamikaze, Jaeger Bomb, every Indian bar, every Indian casino should be able to serve shots at Custer Had It Coming.
Custer had it coming.
Custer had it coming.
What would that drink be? Like Bloody Mary?
Bloody Mary with an arrow to mix it.
You see Bloody Mary and tears.
Oh, that's great, dude. That's awesome. Damn. Oh, Mark, that's awesome. Dude, we're at an hour, my friend. That's crazy. I can't believe how fast this show went.
Great host and wingman. You guys are awesome.
He's the best, man. You got any shows coming up, Mr. Mark?
Yes. Actually, I will be in beautiful Cloverdale, California, this Saturday night, the Cloverdale Comedy Festival at the Citrus Fairgrounds. Adam Stone, myself, Nicole Tran.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that should be fun. And then on the 31st of July, we're doing a fundraiser show for Jessica Seltzer, I think's her last name. She's getting a kidney transplant, so she's gonna be off work for a number of months.
Wow.
So that's gonna be at the old knitting factory. It's called Virginia Street Brewing House. And what I like about this though, dude, they're gonna do a prize giveaway. They have one of those cash cubes. They're gonna fill it with like coupons for prizes, and someone's gonna get in.
Cool.
And they're gonna
nice.
the booth of victory, and they're gonna win a bunch of shit. So
That's
Oh
awesome.
man.
People can go to my website, Laugh with Mark, M-A-R-C. My parents couldn't spell. laughwithmark.com, and has all my upcoming schedule. And I'll be, I'm all over next month. September, October, I'll be out at sea for 3 weeks, back on Holland America cruise line. So
See, I told you he's everywhere. Everywhere.
yeah, air, land, and sea, my friend.
No days
You
off,
got any,
man.
you got any words of wisdom for up and coming comics that want to, do this for real?
Yeah, absolutely. Get up as much as you can. Get your reps in. You got to do the time. You got to do the writing. Record yourself and be honest with yourself. And try to get some advice and mentoring from people that actually been around. Because there's a lot of guys at the same level. It'll just be this circular firing squad of feeding each other. What you want to hear. So and even if it's a friend that's at your level, someone that's really honest. So, write a lot, try to get with some people to writing groups. There's stuff online now. I know this guy, Joe Byers, Hot Breath. He does writing, not competitions, but writing challenges every day.
Ellis Rodriguez, I know, does some workshops and for new comics. And Johnny Taylor Jr. does storytelling.
But try not to, that's the one thing is try not to consume too much comedy because you really don't want, you want to watch enough to learn some styles, but you don't want to absorb too much where it starts bleeding into your act. Try to be unique to you, so people can't steal your jokes. So people say, "Hey, that guy had to have written that joke." I can get away with the Lou Diamond Phillips joke.
I can't.
Dustin can.
Oh man. Well, Mark, thank you so much. But before we go, I always like to end this show with a prayer from Sam Elliott. And now, a prayer from Sam Elliott.
Dear Heavenly Father, give me the strength, for I don't have any patience for stupidity anymore. Everywhere I go, I see someone doing something stupid. I just want to smack them across the head, but I can't, dear Father, for you are the dude of this universe. Dear Lord, we're in a pandemic and I'm starting to lose my cool. All I want to do is sit in my leather chair, smoke a Marlboro Red, and drink a beer. Coors, America's beer. Lone Star Barbecue. Amen.
Oh man, Mark, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. And Sam Elliott appreciates you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to find Mark on Instagram, you can find him on @Marc Yaffee. If you want to find the Adorkable one, you can find him on Instagram @Adorkable Dustin Wood. And if you are just tuning in, you want to check out the rebroadcast of this show, go to youtube.com/MikeBComedy. I can't thank you enough, Mark. This was a very, very fast hour, my friend. Thank you so much, dude.
Great
And
episode.
and this is great because this is you're the first guest that's recurrent. This is the second time you're here, man.
You're a real two-timer, Mark.
He is the best two-timer. better than the bi-trextual where you text.
So good we had to go another round.
But yeah, man, you were here on episode 31 and now you're here on 157. So thank you so much for believing in this podcast, Mark. I really appreciate that.
Great job.
Thank you, sir. And everyone, we will see you next week.
Me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I.
Oh, sorry, I was
It's me,
unmuted. There we go.
myself, and I.
Anyway, what a great show. That guy from Training Day is probably going to kick my ass, but it's okay. I got Mark and Dustin on my side. And if you want to find him, Noel, you go find Marc Yaffee at IG @Marc Yaffee. And you want to beat up Dustin, go ahead and try to find him on Dustin, the Adorkable Dustin Wood on Instagram. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, Noel G, then why don't you check out the rebroadcast youtube.com/MikeBComedy. Hey, I already got the job at the NWO. All right, they made me the leader. So get your vaccine and join the NWO. That's what I'm saying. All right, folks, have a great weekend.